Dave here with Half Dozen Customs. Today we're back at the back end of the 49. Underneath this, there's a hole. You can see at some point in time somebody used some kind of rust stop. I was told it's PR15, but I don't know. It's really flat in color. PR15 is usually has a little bit of a shine to it, so I'm not sure that this is PR15, but either way, it's got to come off. I'm gonna have to sandblast. I can see it's really pitty around here. I'll have to sandblast, see if I blow any holes in it. But I know right under here there's a hole. So we're gonna pull this fender off and we're gonna start replacing that hole. There's a couple holes back here underneath this piece that I can reach from the inside. So we're gonna cut those out. We're gonna get those replaced. So the fender itself seems like it's in good shape. Now I don't know what's underneath this. I'm sure it's a lot of Bondo. Hopefully it just needs maybe some straightening, some cleanup, but I don't see, like, looking inside and everything, I don't see any rust or anything that concerns me as of yet. So, but we're gonna pull this fender off and we're gonna work on getting this bed patched up. I see a couple holes down here that need to be fixed. Tell you what, man.
I tell you what.
And they didn't want these fenders moving around, I tell you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 bolts to hold these fenders on. Ta-da!
Ta-da!
Okay, there's a lot of bolts for that fender. At least they were all the same size, but none of them matched. Some of them look like modern GM bolts, and then some of them were hardware bolts from the hardware. I see one little booger right up here. It looks like somebody stick welded a hole up. Other than that, it looks pretty clean. Cool.
Cool beans.
Alright. let's start grinding some stuff down and see what we got here. There's a hole here, and then there's a pinhole here and a pinhole here that I see. This here looks pretty rough. Let's grind it down and see what we got. Maybe it is PR15 because underneath here it's shiny. Here it's flat. So either the sun beat it on it, because I know PR15 is not something that you put on in direct sunlight. So that's probably what happens to it in direct sunlight. But it definitely doesn't look like they, because I mean it's just the PR15's just bubbling off of it. They didn't do a very good job prepping it or something. Maybe we should try the burnishing tool. Burn. See how this guy does. I bought this tool from Harbor Freight. I think they're regularly $200. I got it on sale. I think I got out the door with it for 120 or 130 with tax. And this is, when I got this, I unboxed it. I did a video unboxing it and then testing it, and it was one of the videos that got lost in the computer crash thing. So, like I said, I bought it from Harbor Freight. I think they're regularly like $200. It worked. I bought it to strip the Bondo because there's so much Bondo on this thing. Me grinding and sanding it was just taking forever, so I got this to take care of that, and it worked awesome for it. We'll see how it works for this. The one thing that I don't like about this, Harbor Freight's buffers are the same way. Is it's a slow start, and if you let off the trigger, like that's it, you're done. You gotta let it wind back down and then hit the trigger again and let it build back up speed. The buffers are the same way. I don't like that slow start with them, but you know, you can see it made decent work of it pretty quick, a lot faster than my little grinder would have done, that's for sure. It looks like there's two pieces. Looking at where the bowl holes are, this is like double walled. There's an inside and an outside. And that would make sense as to why whatever they got going on here looks like maybe two pieces put together and welded in the middle. It would make sense why I don't see that on the inside. Picture of the Mondo before it's all gone. Definitely gives you a workout with this thing. It ain't light. Bad. I think I made pretty quick work of it. I don't think I could have sanded it down any faster. So, you know, there's still a lot, like I can't get up in here with that tool, but, you know, I think it looks pretty good. I think there's going to be some Bondo on this to get this thing straight. If I had to guess, this is two beds welded together to make one bed. So, you know, I won't know for sure until I get to the other side, but they definitely, this has been welded together right down the middle. So, I was told that this bed was homemade. So they definitely got, there's definitely two pieces welded together right down the center there, and it's not very straight. This side doesn't feel too bad. I feel a little low spot there. This is a giant low spot right here. So we'll have to see what we can do with it. I'm gonna start sandblasting and see how much of this pitting turns to Swiss cheese. You know, not that I want to do it, but you know, maybe we cut this section out and put a new piece of metal in there. It'll get rid of all the rust and some of the, it might be an option. You know, the only thing that concerns me with doing that is this. And the floor on the inside, it has is aluminum floor in there, and they're actually put together with the old school military rivets. It looks pretty cool. It would look really cool if we did like a machine turn throughout the whole floor of the bed. Not that I'm doing that, but it would look cool. And I like those old military rivets. That's some cool stuff. So I don't know, you start getting into whatever's going on in this lower section, then we're messing with those rivets. I'll have to think about that, and I'll talk to my buddy, see what he thinks he wants to maybe do, because it's his truck. I'll do whatever he wants to pay me for. Alright, let's see what this stuff looks like. Great. My trigger's stuck. Alright, I guess I'm gonna see, there's an Allen key back here. I guess I'll see what I can take apart. I'll be back. Okay, so I left you with my Sandblast trigger. Stopped working. I got plugged up. The thing's really old. I was able to take a couple things apart. I took the tip off, and there's a little Allen head screw that it goes into the air chamber. I was able to take that out, and I soaked everything with PB Blaster, and I let it soak and blew it out with my blowgun and kept messing with the trigger. There was a piece of sand stuck in there, so I was able to get it all cleaned out, and then I cleaned it out with brake cleaner to get rid of all the PB Blaster in there. You don't want PB Blaster mixing with the sand. That's just a disaster waiting to happen. So, but I was able to get everything cleaned out and get it working again. So, and then I went in and ate lunch and kind of sat and thought about this and looked at the pictures of it. And right now what I'm going to do, I'm gonna pull off the wheel and I'm gonna keep cleaning some of this. I'm gonna try and clean up some of this lower piece, maybe clean up the sides of these things here. You know, I said that it looked like there may be two beds welded together. You know, that's a good possibility. I don't know a whole lot about these vehicles, but I went and I looked at the other one that's on the property, and like how these things are here, it actually has one that's in the middle that comes down to the top of the fender. So it's possible that this is just how these are made. Like I said, I don't know a whole lot about these things, so I know like old Chevys and old Fords and whatnot. Like this is one piece, so those I've worked on a few of them, and I've never seen a seam in the middle like that. That's why, you know, at first I thought maybe it was two pieces put together, which it very possibly could be, but then I looked outside and I seen that the other one that's here there's a piece that's missing on this bed. So what I'm kind of thinking, you know, we got this seam here that looks like there's two pieces welded together. This is caved way in, and it had a lot of Bondo in this area. Not as much as I've seen on some areas of the truck, but there was still quite a bit of Bondo in this area. But we're sunk in here, and then here we're pregnant. It's bowed out this way, so it's sunk in on the inside here, and it's sunk in on the outside here. And then, you know, it's all rusty and rotty. There's pinholes, there's, you know, finger holes. So what I'm thinking is I'm gonna cut up here, and I'm gonna cut across, and I'm gonna cut down, and we're gonna cut just above this this roll. There is a couple areas where the rust goes down below this roll. I'm just going to sandblast it, clean it up the best I can. We'll weld up the couple of pinholes that are there, or whatever pinholes are added. And I'm just going to put a new piece of sheet metal in here. For one, it'll get rid of all the rust. I won't have to sandblast it. I won't have to worry about it. You know, whoever had this truck prior to my buddy, they put this POR 15 on it, which, you know, hey, cool, I love POR 15. But it is in these pits of this. When I tried to sandblast it, like, I mean, it cleaned up. I was able to get it cleaned up, but it's going to take a while to go in and sandblast all that and get rid of that POR 15. It's really in there, and the sandblaster didn't really want to take it off very fast. So I think, you know, we'll cure a couple of issues, you know, with the dents and the bows and the amount of Bondo that it would take to straighten this out, and the rust. We'll get rid of all this POR 15. I won't have to sandblast it. You know, I think we'll take care of several things at once if I just cut it out and replace it. It'll get rid of the seam in the middle. There will be a lot less Bondo. It'll be cleaner. You know, the bed, like I said, there's a low spot here, you know, high spot here, low spot here. You know, this back here feels pretty straight. You know, I think we can clean up this bedside by replacing it a lot better than just me sandblasting everything, replacing a couple of spots, and then Bondoing the bejesus out of it. So, I mean, it'll still get some Bondo on it, but I think we can cut the Bondo down by cutting that out. So that's where I'm thinking that we're going to go with it. I think I babbled on enough about it. You know, I'm not really trying to talk myself into it. I think I did that in the house. But I'm going to work on getting some more of this cleaned up and go from there. So I'm going to pull this wheel off real quick so that I can get to the stuff behind it. Because I need to know what all this looks like. You know, there is some rust and some POR 15, and, you know, I got to get that cleaned up and see what that all looks like. Try and get whatever I can out of this crack and crevice, and it is a mess, that's for sure. Which I knew it wasn't pretty, but but until I get into it, I don't really, you know, before I just kind of looked at it. Now that I've gotten into it and started grinding and sandblasting, you know, I kind of got to make a decision of what I think is best for it. I better turn on the compressor before I run out of air.
Good thinking!
Okay, so I got a lot of it stripped down. I still got, some stuff in the cracks and crevices. I'm gonna have to get that out with the sandblaster. You see me grab my big Mudhog and my DA. And what I was doing with that was, you can see all the, I don't know where it looks like it's grinded and it's not. I don't know how well you guys can see that in the camera, but what this is it's the black stuff that comes on the steel when you get it from the steel warehouse. It's some kind of coating that the steel companies put on there so that it don't rust, and it is hard to get off. And somebody's already, they got a lot of it off, but they didn't take it all off. I'm sure with me, stripping and sanding and grinding, I took a lot off myself. But it looks like DA was working, but, if you looked at my DA, wherever it went, it trashed the pad, with just black gunk. So, normally I wouldn't care. I would just prime over that and call it a day. But, I really want to see that bare metal look. And to me, that's not it. So, I'm going to see what I can do, keep working at it. Maybe the sandblaster will take care of that. Or it's just going to take a lot of sanding with the DA. But I think I got, majority of it cleaned up. I think it's time to switch to sandblasting and get these corners and inside this crease and everything cleaned up. I gotta get this cleaned up down here, because when I cut this out and put the new piece of metal in, I need nice clean metal to weld to down there. So I think that's gonna be the next step is, I'm not gonna be doing anything with this piece. This is not sheet metal down here. This is like probably the same thing that the frame's made out of. It's thick. It's probably eighth inch thick steel. So I'm good with sandblasting that and doing whatever I gotta do. We're not gonna be blowing holes in that, but I'm also not gonna be replacing any of it. But we will work on that. So these pieces here, I can tell they're custom made. That ain't no stamped piece from no factory. That's different pieces of metal welded together. There's actually a weld going all the way down the crease. So, kind of cool. Somebody put some time into those at one point in time. They actually had Bondo all the way up underneath this bar. They even had the bar bondoed. Whoever did the body work on this, they sure liked their Bondo, that's for sure. Interesting to go through and take other people's work off and see what they did. A lot of work for me. Okay, it's doggy feeding time. I gotta go in and feed the pups. So I shall return. Boy, it's past doggy feeding time. I'm late. They're gonna be mad. Okay, I'm back. Got the doggies fed. Dave here with Half Dozen Customs. Back at it again. Different day. Still working on this sandblasting. Last night my buddy stopped by and then the wife came out and that was they hung out here for about an hour, so that was pretty much the end of work session last night. So here we go, back at it again. Just gonna keep sandblasting this till all this rust is gone. like my gloves.
When I'm done rolling up this booger, should I eat it or throw it out the window?
Okay, I think I'm good with sandblasting for now. I think I got enough of it done that I can start cutting out and replacing what I need to cut out. a couple holes up here I think I can weld up. But there's some patches that are, I can kind of see them in here, but the majority of it is underneath this, but I can get it from the inside. So I need to cut those out and replace those, and then I am gonna cut this out and replace that. I did talk to my buddy that owns the truck. He told me whatever I want to do. He said if I want to blast it and fill it with Bondo, I can. But me personally, I would rather try and get it to the point to where it's as little Bondo as possible. So, and that's a lot to sandblast too. I think between all the sandblasting, I would still have to cut out and put patches in here. You know, and then you add the body work on top of that. I think it's better, and it'll save more time if I just cut it out and replace it all. So, so I think that's where we're gonna start tomorrow. You know, I'll probably weld up those couple of little, they're just little like BB size holes and smaller up there in the corner. I'm just gonna weld them. I'll probably do these 2 patches in the back. And we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I think that's it for me tonight. I'm gonna go in and try and rinse the sand out of my eyes. So, and I think I'm gonna look up some kind of sand strainer so that maybe I can start sweeping this up and straining it out, maybe saving it if I can. You know, they're not bad. I think they're only $8 a bag, and so it's not horrible if I gotta just go buy more. But I'm gonna look, see what my options are. I also want to get a tent that I can put up and sandblast in and keep it all confined inside the tent, and have some kind of, I can't think of the name of it, a tarp down to collect the sand, so then that way I can just kind of fold up the tarp and scoop the sand in through a strainer and try and save it. But I got a lot of sandblasting to do on this truck, and it would be nice to be able to you know, put a couple fenders in the tent, or put the hood in the tent, or you know, I'd like to get even big enough that I could put like the bed in the tent and do all that. And you know, if I wanted to pull the truck in and sandblast the cab in the tent, I can. We'll see. I have everything to sandblast here. I'm just trying to figure out a way to save the sand. So we'll see. Tomorrow's another day. So you guys have a good night. Thanks for joining me on this 2-day adventure of sandblasting. So see you in the next one. I'm out.